Welcome to Dissidia NT, the newest game to come out involving the Dissidia game series. Alright. I am pretty excited with this particular game series. I've played the first two, although the second one I really didn't get into it too much, but hopefully this one picks up on some of the things that I thought were lacking on the last one. And they would hide these, wouldn't they? Alright, let's see. There we go. And we got Leviathan. One of the few summons that have actually been around since the first games.
The world of Dissidia welcomes you, Kupo. We nobles assist with any arduous tasks our mystical masters require. Your purpose in this place, however, is to fight, fight, fight! And as long as you keep at it, your efforts will be rewarded, Kupo. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. There's still so much you need to see and learn. As you continue to clash, you'll recover myriad memories of this realm, Kupo. So how about it? Shall we practice the bare basics of brawling, Kupo? Splendid, Kupo! Well, enjoy your wonderful journey, Kupo!
And another familiar face for anyone who's played the any of the Final Fantasy series games.
Choose your character, Kupo.
Oh. Well, that's kind of cool. They actually let you choose this time. Let's see. And they start out with you being able to play as the villains right off the bat. That's actually fairly different from the past games. Alright, well, let's see what we got, who we got available. The Warrior of Light from the original Final Fantasy. Thing about the Warrior of Light is the reason why he's referred to as the Warrior of Light is because originally the game's story was an RPG in truest sense, that it wanted you to step into the role of the actual character, which is hence the name of the Warrior of Light, which is what you were described as. When you actually played the game and you named your character, then that's when the name comes in play. But since everyone's name is different, they decided to make his name his actual title. Garland. Garland is also from the original Final Fantasy, I assume. I played a little bit on it, but I didn't actually beat it. So I'm guessing this is the counterpart to the Warrior of Light. Then we got Furion, which anybody who's played Final Fantasy II should know who he is. And then the Emperor. I did complete Final Fantasy II, and the Emperor, he was a jerk, pure and simple. Nowhere near as bad as some of the other villains, but he is definitely a jerk. Onion Knight. I didn't actually play on the third Final Fantasy, so I really don't know a whole lot about him other than the fact that he was one of the first to introduce the class system, which they actually could change their class whenever they needed to. Cloud of Darkness. Looks like they've done a lot of work on her model. There's going to be a lot. This particular character is probably going to make a lot of basement geeks happy. Sorry if you turn out to be one of them, but I got to be honest about that. Cecil. Yeah, I remember Cecil. Cecil. Final Fantasy IV was one of the first Final Fantasies that I actually played, and Cecil was an interesting character because he actually starts out as a villain, and then as the game progresses he becomes a hero, switching from a Dark Knight to a Paladin. If I remember correctly, Cain was his ally for much of the game. And then there's Golbez. We got Bart and X-Death. Sorry if I'm not going into more detail about these particular characters, as I really don't know a whole lot about them. Terra, I do know a little bit about her because I did play some on the games. She had an interesting little thing where she became a kind of like a summon spirit, and then her counterpart Kefka, for the longest time I think manipulated her or actually controlled her for much of the game. And then everybody, the crowd favorite Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, and Sephiroth, also from Final Fantasy VII, with his iconic oversized katana. And then of course my favorite from the game series was Squall. Has and will most likely always be my favorite character amongst the all the characters you can actually play as. Ultimencia. Zidane. Not too many people liked Final Fantasy IX, but I liked it. It was actually a really good game despite all the negative feedback it kind of got. Kuja. Titus and Jecht from Final Fantasy X. Both of them awesome games. It looks like Yuna didn't come back into this one, unless... Looks like they didn't bring Yuna back in, which is actually kind of sad. Shinado from Final Fantasy XI, the one of the more interesting characters off of the Final Fantasy XI MMO. Vaughn from Final Fantasy XII. It was actually a pretty unique game. It was one of the first of the Final Fantasies. It was actually the first of the Final Fantasies that brought live action combat into the game. While it did keep the traditional time-based attacking, it was still quite interesting for the time period. Lightning, another favorite from Final Fantasy 13. I never could say her name right. Yashlada, I guess what it is. She's off of Final Fantasy 14, one of the characters that age your character that you create as you play. Noctis from the newest Final Fantasy. Huh. Wow. They actually brought some of the characters from Final Fantasy Tactics in. Did they? Okay, so they got the two oddballs that typically get left out. Tactics. I say it's an oddball, but Tactics is actually a pretty good game on its own. I love the game. And it's for, what was this, 14? No, shoot. I've played this one, but I can't remember the title of it fully anyways. Actually had some pretty good, twist to it, but I never finished it. I actually need to sit down one of these days and complete it. Alright, well, now that we're choosing, I'll go ahead and pick my favorite here, Squall.
Select a battle set, Kupo.
Let's see what we
Select
got.
a summon, Kupo.
Uh-oh. I clicked the wrong button. Oh well. I can adjust that stuff in a little bit. Okay. I'm going out there with the twin. That's different. Alright. Basics.
Zip like a zephyr, Kupo. You did it, Kupo. Your adversary's not alone, Kupo.
That's my prey.
Okay. Oh, I know how to attack now, but
My bad.
how am I supposed to?
That's my prey.
It tells me to target, but oh wait, no, never mind. I thought I may have figured it out, but it fooled me. Is it not going to actually tell me how to do it? Okay. Alright, well, I figured it out by accident, I suppose. Okay, I know how to attack, but targeting is still... Alright, let's see if... Let me go back in. Did I miss something? Oh! I should have been reading my boxes here. Alright, so these two, I was pushing those. Nearest... Okay.
Your adversary's not alone, Kupo.
Apparently I wasn't.
Impressive, Kupo.
Alright, my bad. Okay. Alright.
Zip and zoom about, Kupo. Impressive, Kupo. Burgle their bravery and assault them with HP attacks, Kupo.
And so far it plays fairly similar to the other one. Okay, guarding.
Skillful sidestepping and gifted guarding will render attacks harmless, Kupo. Impressive, Kupo!
Okay.
Use EX skills wisely, and winning will be a cinch, Kupo.
Wow, they gave me one of my favorite types of attacks.
Impressive, Kupo!
Alright, so magic is a thing. I've actually been curious on how they were going to integrate the summon spirits, so let's see what they've got. And
Summons can turn the tide of battle
I
in
didn't
an
read it.
instant, Kupo.
Let me go back in. Okay. Attacking foes fills it. Rush to the core. Once you get the core. Okay. So basically it's pretty straightforward on how this is done.
Summons can turn the tide of battle in an instant, Kupo.
So we gotta hold it. Wow, that takes a while.
Pour every last drop of ocean on them.
Congrats, Kupo!
Okay, I'm not all that worried about the chat, but I'll go ahead and take a look at it right fast.
Practice makes perfect, Kupo!
This calls for a summon.
Impressive, Kupo! Try for yourself, Kupo!
Oh,
I failed my mission. Don't talk about me in the past tense.
Congrats, Kupo!
and we're going to get our fight.
Believe that we can win, and we shall. Don't worry, I can take care of myself.
Still a little odd to have a twin. Jeez.
Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kupo!
I need to get used to this game again.
Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kupo! Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kupo!
Jeez, I'm gonna get.
You don't need this.
Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kupo!
Attacking the core. So sorry. My bad. It's no big deal.
What's done is done.
fast.
There's one.
Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo.
Leave the core to me. Attacking the core. Get serious. Leave naught but ashes
Oh,
behind.
oh dear.
Spell your foes with HP attacks, Kubo.
Oh, he does attack. Ow.
Spell your foes with HP attacks, Kubo.
Jesus.
Spell your foes with HP attacks, Kubo. Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo.
This calls for a summon. This fight's already won. Pour every last drop of ocean on them.
Spell your foes with HP attacks, Kubo. Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo. Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo.
Attacking the core.
Spell your foes with HP attacks, Kubo. Spell your foes with HP attacks, Kubo. Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo. Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo.
Jesus.
Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo. Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo. Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo.
this?
Fell your foes with HP attacks, Kubo.
Get serious! My turn! Fire away!
You did it, Kubo.
Sorry about such the long fight. Apparently I need to learn how to guard. Let's see here. I don't know how much time that took. I forgot to set my timer. Shouldn't have taken a whole lot of time. Alright. Okay, so that's basically stuff that we just learned in the basics anyways. We'll go ahead and go back to mode. And then, sadly, I'm probably going to have to end this episode here because of time. I'm not 100% sure how much time I've still got. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. Sorry that I only did the tutorial. The next episode should be a little bit longer if I've got enough time for them. And then we should go into a little more into the game's story. I do want to play the story mode. I might do some of the might do some online matches, not sure. But for the most part, the main part's going to be the story mode. Well, I'll see you guys in the next episode.